Usually it will be enough with property bindings and event bindings for most of the relations between components. However, sometimes you need to go further. Giving an example, let's imagine that outside my counter I want to put a button to start the countdown. Okay, what happened then? Right now, the only thing I can do is to update this total countdown, but I will still miss to restart the countdown, so I will miss to call this start countdown method from the countdown component. And right now, this is something I can't do from outside of the component. Okay, we can do this with template reference variables. So, inside the app component template, I'm gonna update this app countdown to have a local variable that will represent this component. So I'm gonna add here this hashtag. This defines a template reference variable, and I give it the name countdown. So right now, countdown is a variable representing this component that allows me to use its methods inside this template. So I said I want to add a button to restart this countdown. So I create this button outside, and here I add an event binding to the click event of the button. Then I use directly countdown, the variable I have just created, and its method start countdown, that is accessible from here because countdown component have this method start countdown, and if there's no modifier in the beginning, this is a public method, so I can use it from outside. This way I can call countdown.startCountdown on the template. I will also restart here the counter to 0, bring counter progress equals 0. I can do this. I mean, inside this event binding, I can call any function of the component, but I can also write several lines of code. And I'm updating the counter to 0 here because otherwise I have to wait to the next tick that will call the update progress method on my component. So the method really updates this value. But in my case, as I'm restarting the countdown from outside, I'm also restarting the counter of my progress bar. Okay, so I call restart to this button. I'm gonna add a few styles. The same way I'm using the selector app progress bar, I'm gonna use the selector button, because I only have one here with a width of 100% and a height of 40 pixels. Something very basic, so you can see the button centered. So if I'm gonna see the results, I have my button here. I click and it restarts the countdown. But look careful at the counter. On every click, my counter starts decreasing faster and faster. Why is this happening? This is because when I created the counter, I wasn't thinking about restarting it, so I have not handled the distraction of the counter. Right now, I have several timers working at the same time. Okay, I go back to the code, I open countdown component.ts, and you can see the problem here. I have this set timeout, and at each start countdown, it's creating a new timer. So I need to create a reference for this timeout. I do it here, private countdown timer ref, that's how it will be called. It's a reference to my counter, type any, and it will be initialized to null. And then when I use the timeout, I get the reference. Here in the set timeout, I assign it this.countdown timer ref equals set timeout, and this way I've got the reference to the timeout. And now what I need is a method to clean this timeout. So I create this method private clear timeout. That what it's gonna do is if this.countdown timer ref, if I have a counter, I do this clear timeout of this.countdown timer ref. And finally, what I do is to assign to this.countdown timer ref the null value again. Okay, great, I have this clear timeout and I need to call it in the start countdown method. So here, where I'm doing this.init and this.init greater than 0, the first thing I do is this.clear timeout. This way, I make sure I'm cleaning any reference to a counter that it's already working. Back to the results, you can see the counter here. I press restart, this starts decreasing. I can click several times to the restart button, but it keeps decreasing at a normal rate 1 second per number. So this is working as expected, but I don't want to disturb, just focus your attention on the important things. In app component, you have used a template reference variable to get the reference to this component that allows you to use it in the rest of the template. So here I am associating this event binding to the click event in order to call the method start countdown of this other component.